Yo guys, what's going on? It's Brian and Jim from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today we are taking a look at Klash Ball for the NES.
Released in 1991, Klash Ball is actually a port of a game known as Speedball. Now, Speedball originated in 1988 on the Atari ST, and it was later ported to the Amiga, the PC, Commodore 64, Sega Master System, blah 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 blah. This game was developed and ported by Soffel. Who's Soffel, you say? Well, that's a good question.
Who is it?
Oh, Jesus God. Actually, it's best known for games like Casino Kid and Wall Street Kid. And yes, I looked that up on Wikipedia. I had no idea who they were. Anyway, let's check this wacky game out.
Alright, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the presentation and the originality that this game offers. Now, like Jim mentioned, this game came out in 1991. That's fairly late in the NES's life, and we were kind of expecting a lot more. From the opening screen, there were some interesting avatars and graphics, and we were really hopeful. And then the game started, and it looked like this. Now, right away, my mind rushed to Cyberball. And if you remember our review of that, we were both shitting our pants in anticipation of the terrible game. Luckily, that was not the case. However, the graphics do leave a ton to be desired. You have a top-down view of the players, which, as Jim will mention later, that really helps with the gameplay style. However, it just doesn't look that appealing, and the detail in the actual sprites themselves, it's pretty weak, let's face it. The most exciting thing is the fact that the frame rate really doesn't slow down. It actually speeds up fairly fast. There's not a lot of lag in it, and that you get these nice little explosions every time you score a goal. As far as the sound, just like the graphics, it really let us down overall. It seemed like they recycled a whole bunch of Atari sounds, and a lot of the crowd noises and other sounds pulled from earlier NES football games. There wasn't a whole lot new offered in the sound design, and there really isn't music. Now, don't get me wrong, the opening track, it's not bad. Some might even call it a toe tapper. Right, Jim?
No!
I'd call it a toe tapper. Other than that, you don't get music. You might get the little cutscene music here and there, but really, it's just crowd noise, the ball exploding. That's it. It's just disappointing. However, one area where this game really shines is in the originality, because the creators took it upon themselves to combine some odd choices in hockey, handball, football, whatever the hell they decide to combine, and you get this weird sport of Klash Ball. We got to give it a lot of points for that, and in the way you level up your team in between rounds, it's just something we've never really seen from an NES sports game, and we got a lot of enjoyment out of just those nice little new improvements. It's like we were learning a new sport as we were playing this game. As far as the beer requirement meter is concerned, it's tough because the presentation really brings it down, so I'm going to have to add 5 beers. I'm not going to go the full 6-pack. I'm going to keep it in the green for now, but let's face it, this game really should look a lot better. Maybe with at least 5 beers in you, you might get those beer goggles going, and you might see something that looks a little better than this.
Alrighty, control, gameplay, and replayability. First, the control. Actually, a common theme for control and gameplay is going to be this. Takes a little bit to get used to, but once you get it, you're going to have a blast. Now, the control's not bad at all. The only issues we had sometime were of actually grabbing onto the ball. As far as aiming goes, not a lot of issues. As far as shooting goes, again, not a lot of issues. And the game actually goes the extra mile of displaying all the controls before you start the game. So that's actually kind of different for the time. And of course, you can speed right through it, so it's not like you're stuck in a tutorial. You can basically read up, learn as you go, use your manual, blah, 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 blah. You have options. And really, I think the only problem with grabbing the ball, I didn't notice it at first during the actual gameplay because it's so hectic, but there's actually some scaling that goes on with the ball, so it's probably bouncing at different elevations, and that's the only reason we had problems getting it. The gameplay, extremely fast, extremely fun, way more fun than we were expecting to have. Is it perfect? Maybe not exactly, but there's different ways to win. You can beat the shit out of your players or your opponents and make them explode. You can score more points. There's obstacles in the course, and they change with each successive round, so that's cool. The person who has a higher score at the end of each round gets coins, and the coins can be used to unlock different upgrades. It's one type of game. You're going to play the same game over and over, but it's so fast and so fun that you're really not going to get sick of it. And this is a perfect party game with friends. Let's move on to replayability.
Jim, why don't you talk about how you got that ass whooped?
I did not get my ass whooped. I choked.
Do I need to show the scores?
Anyway. I hate him so goddamn much. One of these days I'll have my sweet revenge and it'll be so damn sweet. It's just gonna be so... Anyway.
Jim, by the way, who's still the DBPG champ? You tell me.
Why don't you get our acronym right, dick? Anyway, replayability so I can finish this goddamn segment. As far as single player games goes, maybe not the most. The real replayability comes with multiplayer. You're not gonna get sick of this game, at least we didn't, playing with a friend. Invite a couple buddies over, make a tournament for yourself, just have a blast. Honestly, in these departments, you don't need a lot of beer to enjoy this. Maybe some of the bits of the game could be a little smoother, but I'm only gonna add 2 beers. There's not much improvement you need as far as overall fun and playing the game goes. I liked it a lot.
Alright, so overall, this is a game that me and Jim, looking back on, we really enjoyed. Now, our score might not be as reflective as how we really feel, but with the way we weigh it out with all the options we present to you, the final score is what it is. So as you see, it came out to a 5.8. That obviously means it's slightly above average, but really, it doesn't look too good on paper. But we really can't stress this enough. Ignore the presentation, get used to the controls, and you will find some fun with this game. And with the 7 beers required to truly enjoy this game, that means you can grab yourself a 6-pack, and your cheap-ass buddy can get himself a bottle from the bottle shop, and you can have a blast with this. Hell, you may even want to get yourself a case, because you could easily make this a long night of drinking with you and your buddies rotating in and out. As far as beer pairing is concerned, we're going to go with the Saranac Pale Ale, because you need a beer that's just subtle enough that won't pull you away from the gameplay, but will still do the job after about 3 or 4 beers. And we can't think of a better one than the Saranac Pale Ale. So grab yourself a whole bunch of these and enjoy your night with some Clash Ball. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, or better yet, why not subscribe? Till next time, guys, cheers.